Hello, this is Evangelist Dr. Robert L. McKim Sr. from Carrollton, Ohio. I wanted to talk to you about Moses. In the beginning, Moses, of course, he killed somebody. He killed an Egyptian. When that Egyptian was harassing and beating Hebrew. In Exodus, we all know, Moses was born. Then he raised by the Pharaoh's daughter. Then Moses, like I said, he killed an Egyptian after the Egyptian had beaten a Hebrew, one of Moses' brethren. Then he fled. Then Moses saw the burning bush, and God was talking to Moses. And Moses said to God, "Who am I that I should go to Pharaoh and say, and that I should bring the children of Israel out of Egypt?" He said, "I will certainly be with you, and this shall be a sign to you that I have sent you. I will go back here. I have sent you when you have brought the people out of Egypt. You shall serve God on this mountain." Then Moses said to God, "Indeed, when I come to the children of Israel and say to them, 'The God of your forefathers or fathers has sent me to you,' and they say to me, 'What is his name?' what shall I say to them?" God said to Moses, "I am who I am." And he said, "Thus you say to the children of Israel, 'I am as has sent me,' or sent me to you." Anyhow, what I'm trying to get across here is, in my preaching video and in 4 here as well, again, then Moses answered and said, "But suppose they will not believe me, or listen to my voice. Suppose they say, 'The Lord has not appeared to you.'" And then down here, Moses says to God, to the Lord, "O Lord, I am not eloquent, neither before nor since. You have spoken to your servant, but I am slow of speech and slow of tongue." So the Lord said to him, "Who has made man's mouth, or who makes the mute, the deaf, the seeing, or the blind? Have not I, the Lord? Now therefore go, and I will be with your mouth, and teach you what to say, or you shall say." You see, God equips His servants to say what He wants His servants to say. Now, someone had said to me in one of their videos that if I preached and not talked about myself, then they would stop making videos. I'm preaching. I'm not talking about myself. I'm talking about Moses. But if you can't get it, you never will. That's the problem. And oh yeah, they said I was supposed to make a 20-minute video. You know what? I'm not going to waste your time on a 20-minute video preaching a sermon when I'm preaching God's Word. There's a difference between preaching God's Word and preaching a sermon. A sermon actually is about a half an hour. Besides preaching God's Word, you go on and on and on and on about other things. You're telling jokes and you're talking about people that you come across in your life. And how that person that you came across relates to Moses somehow. Or to the sermon that you're wanting to preach or get across. The problem is, I don't preach sermons. I preach God's Word. I preach the truth. A lot of people hate that because they think a preacher should be preaching a sermon about a half an hour and then that's it. And the sermon should be about not just God's Word, but other things thrown in. And then giving examples. Well, I can give you an example. My dad, my earthly dad, he had a cleft palate. He could not speak plain. But yet, God still used my dad in ways that he didn't have a ministry, he wasn't a preacher, but yet he went to church and he gave his testimony many times. There's some people out there on the internet that's trying to tarnish my dad's good name. That is actually, they're making things up. They're not even talking about my dad. My real dad. Or my real mother. They're not talking about them. They're talking about people that they're making up. Am I sitting here talking about your family the way you're talking about my family? No, I'm not. So what gives you the right to talk about my family the way you're talking about my family? I'm not yelling, I'm not hollering, I'm not screaming. I'm just saying it's time to stop. I'm not stopping with preaching God's Word. I'm not stopping telling you the truth. But since this person said that they will stop if I preached and not talk about myself, I guess I'll have to wait and see. In the meantime, God bless you. Have a blessed night.